All right, what's going on, guys? It's Wednesday, and today we are gonna be going through something that's very, very important. But before that, hold on. Wall Street Journal just said Ukraine launched a counter-offensive against the Russian forces encroaching on Kiev. Okay. Anyway, today we'll be getting the FOMC summary from Jerome Powell himself. This is going to be happening later on at about 2 a.m. No, 2:30 a.m. We'll be getting the policy statement at 2 a.m. And then at 2:30 a.m., Jerome Powell is going to come out to talk to us about the whole summary of the entire FOMC meeting. Okay. And of course, if you're actually looking at the markets, the futures, all of them are doing great because everyone is already expecting Jerome Powell to continue with a 25 basis point increment instead of a 50 basis point increment, 75, 100, no one care. A lot of us thinks that is most likely going to be 25 basis point increment, which is why the market is kind of going up a little bit. Of course, if you are also taking note of all the other markets, such as the Chinese market as well, they're also doing very, very well. We'll also be going through the entire news later on as well. But anyway, without further ado, let's cover some news today. All right. So before we actually begin with everything else, let's go through some of the live updates. I actually went through some of them, and I think that nothing is really worth talking about other than this one, which is Russia imposes sanctions on Biden and also other of the top U.S. Officials. Okay, things that you might want to listen to. I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue, not gonna lie. Okay, first of all, Biden is going to get sanctioned. Blinken, Lloyd, William Burns, Jen Psaki, Hillary Clinton, and also Biden's son, Hunter Biden. All of them are going to get travel restriction. Their bank accounts going to get frozen if they have banks in Russia. Which, whoop-de-doo, no one cares because no one's going to Russia for a trip. And Jen Psaki actually even said it over here. The second piece I would say is, that won't surprise any of you, that none of us are planning tourist trips to Russia, and none of us have bank accounts that we won't be able to access. Okay, so basically, right now, sanctioning is basically the political fight that Russia and the US and also Canada, that all of them are just basically going through all these sanctioning battles. Of course, Russia is not happy with all the sanctioning that's been done to the Kremlins and such. So the Kremlins basically just threw the sanctions back to the Americans. And the Canadians. Hopefully, that this might actually change something, but I'm not gonna lie, nothing's gonna change, so we don't really care. Okay, so that's basically all that we really have for the update. I don't want to get too in depth of the Russia-Ukraine situation, so let's leave that as it is. All right, stocks futures gain on the anticipated Fed rate rise. Like I said, everyone is already expecting that to be the case. So over here, you can see that, futures for S&P went up by 1.3%. Right now, the SPY is up about 1% in the pre-market. The QQQ, which is NASDAQ, is up about 1.6% in the pre-market. So pretty good, okay, pretty good. Jerome Powell said that he would propose a 0.25 percentage point rate increase. And then, what would be the first rate hike since 2018, okay, in the central bank's meeting Wednesday as officials look to cool demand and control inflation. And also, if you have not watched my latest video on, how recession could be coming very, very soon, do check that out. Although it's a little bit longer, I actually penned out my entire thought process of how FOMC can actually trigger some form of a recession, be it a pseudo recession or a full-out recession. Okay. This kind of basis point high, whatever we want to talk about every single day. Okay, as much as I'm very, very excited to share this kind of information with you guys, but a lot of time this kind of information can really trigger some form of a recession in the long run, especially when the Feds are unable to control inflation in the long run. Okay, but anyway, that video is in my channel. Just go and find it. It's called Recession Coming Soon Near You, featuring Jerome Powell or something along that line. But okay, anyway, Chinese officials said that they would coordinate pandemic prevention and control and economic development, keep the economy operating within a reasonable range, and keep the capital market running smoothly, which is, of course, very, very important. Okay, Hang Seng went up by 9.1%, and the Hang Seng Tech index went up by 20%, which is crazy. Okay. And of course, this is also due to the fact that, if I'm not mistaken, it was because Xi Jinping came out to say that the market is going to be strong. Okay, like no one have to worry about the Chinese market. The market is going to go up in the long run. That kind of thing. Okay, I think we can bring that up first. Okay, over here. Xi Jinping spurs frantic stock buying with lifeline for Chinese market or China markets. So after a 12 months, brutal 12 months for the Chinese equity, the Wednesday session was looking like a tepid bounce off a multi-year lows until the headline started rolling from Beijing. Then greed quickly replaced the panic selling for the past few days. So for people who do not know, all the Chinese stocks are down. Okay, your Tencent is down, your Alibaba is down. Anything to do with the Chinese stocks market is all down. Okay, nobody there to invest in the Chinese stocks market. Everyone is kind of pulling them out. And because of what Xi Jinping actually said, that made everyone kind of feel reassured just a little bit. Okay, and over here, okay, complete the crackdown of the big tech as soon as possible. Yi Gang, governor of the People's Bank of China, followed with a statement saying the central bank would help implement policies as did the banking watchdog. Okay, with the pledges from President Xi Jinping's government offered little clarity over what authorities may do to achieve their goals. It was the first time China publicly addressed investors' top concern in one coordinated swoop. Okay, and of course, this is great for people who are there. You know, they really wanted Xi Jinping to kind of calm the market a little bit, to tell them, you know, it's all right. You know, the market's going to be all right. There's going to be a central bank backing up the entire equity market. The equity market is still going to be safe in the long run, that sort of thing. And that was all it took. All it took, okay? For the Hang Seng China Enterprise Index to be up 12.5%. Alibaba went up 27%. JD.com went 36%. And of course, with your property stocks. Okay, honestly, for property stocks rallying most in more than a decade, you do have to also understand that during the whole Evergrande situation, that really didn't really help the whole property market side of things. Any property market in the Chinese sector were all destroyed. Just the Evergrande got it the worst. Okay, which is, if I'm not mistaken, the ticker was 3333.HK or something along that line. But yeah, you know, Evergrande, the whole hoo-ha about property going crazy. But yes, you know, Chinese stocks most likely will be coming back. Let's see if we have any sort of confirmation that the coronavirus spread is also getting lesser and lesser, hopefully. This confirms that the Chinese government sees healthy and strong equity markets, as key for the government, for the country going forward. Let's see, do we have anything about the... Okay, face more political pressure to bolster the economy with rising COVID cases spurring lockdowns that threaten to hinder growth and disrupt lives for millions of people. So for people who are still not in the loop, Shenzhen and Beijing, all these states in China is also getting a lot of pressure from the increasing level of COVID cases as well. Of course, this is going to be affecting China's economy right now. And I think what Xi Jinping is actually trying to do is trying to bolster the economy a little bit, you know, telling people, don't worry about it. Equity market is going to be all right. Our businesses are going to be all right. Our consumers are going to be all right. Okay, we're not going to a full lockdown where everyone cannot do any sort of business, no transport, no business, no buy, no nothing. Okay, back when the peak fear where we had back in the March of 2020. Okay, I don't think that we're going to have that again. And that's kind of what Xi Jinping kind of want to bring out to his country, to the citizens, and, you know, kind of calm them down. And, you know, the economy is going to be all right. Of course, there's going to be some lockdowns here and there. That's because they want to immediately find the source of where the COVID cases are actually having the most spikes, and then try to stop them, be via through quarantining or whatever it is, just to get the numbers down as low as they can. Okay, and I do believe that China can do it, because they were one of the first few to actually did the controlling for the cases to bring back down, whereas where all the other countries out there, even for Singapore, where we're actually going into the thousands, and where, you know, China, for a country that's so big, got lesser daily cases than Singapore. So, you know, at some point you think that that's pretty cool. Okay, but anyway, enough about China. Let's move on to Boris Johnson visits UAE, Saudi Arabia, seeking more oil. Okay, so for this one, like I said before, I think that this makes the most sense in the world. Let's take into consideration, okay? The US and the UK has already said that they're going to ban Russian crude. Okay, the US gets most of their oil from Saudi Arabia, Canada, and Mexico. Okay, for the UK, I'm not very sure, but I'm certain that they do get from Russia, which a huge part of it actually came from Russia. And of course, I do think that they also deal with Mexico as well. So right now, Boris Johnson basically have to go over to. They also deal with Saudi Arabia, and now they have to go back to Saudi Arabia and just ask them like, is it possible for us to actually have a bigger trade deal for more oil? Because that way they can be way less dependent on Russian crude, which right now they are currently going all the way to 0%. And in that case, they hopefully can get more from Saudi Arabia. And yeah, I think that it can make sense for Boris Johnson to do that. Right now, a lot of world leaders is actually traveling all over the world right now, just because of this simple. Well, I don't want to call it simple, okay? Like this whole entire invasion, military action, I don't care, war, okay? This whole situation, world leaders are moving all over the world trying to get more commodities for their own citizen. Basically, it's kind of like a big game of Monopoly with all the world leaders right now. And I would like to say that Russia's not really winning. I think Russia has been like going into the jail, back out of jail, going to jail, get out of jail, that kind of thing. I don't think that Russia is really, progressing as much in this game at the moment. Okay, but anyway, the British leader is acting as an emissary as the de facto leaders of the UAE and Saudi Arabia shunned entreaties from President Biden to discuss energy policy. Oil prices rose sharply following Russia's invasion of Ukraine on concerns about supply disruptions. The West needs oil production from the Middle East to increase, and its looks to wean European nations of Russian oil and gas while avoiding soaring energy bills for voters at home. Also, something for you to actually take note of. Yesterday, when I actually went through the entire presentation, explaining to you guys about the whole recession and also points of what I am actually being afraid of, the points of concern, things of that nature. Those were actually all spoken inside as well, even for this, where the voters at home, because let's not forget, elections is going to be right around the corner. Okay, people are going to worry about this. Imagine back in 2020, where we had the elections for Trump versus Biden, the amount of uncertainty on top of this. This was back in 2019. Okay, the amount of uncertainty, and then right after in 2020, we have to see like the whole Trump passing it over to Biden, and then you have the pandemic. There's so many rubbish all chucked into that one small year, and it's horrible. So, yeah. Okay. Anyway. The visit comes as the International Energy Agency warned of a global oil supply shock due to large-scale disruption to Russian oil supplies and the following similar warnings from OPEC. Okay, but I think overall this is mostly talking about how the deal would go for Boris Johnson versus I won't say versus Boris Johnson and also the UAE, just so that they can get more oil for this. All right. Now, something I do want to talk about today, which is quite interesting, would be all on the CNBC side of things. Okay, first of all, let's talk about Apple supplier Foxconn. Say it resumed some production in Shenzhen after COVID outbreak. So we did receive news that Foxconn, which is the assembly, one of the assemblers for the Apple iPhone in Shenzhen, they actually shut down their entire operation due to a sudden outbreak of COVID. And the whole entire city just basically went on a lockdown. And because of that, Foxconn couldn't do anything. The whole operation was put on hold. And of course, that's going to be affecting Apple's whole supply chain situation. Okay. The company said earlier this week that it has paused production in Shenzhen after an uptick in COVID-19 cases led the city to shut down. Foxconn said that it is only able to resume production on campuses that include both employee housing and production facilities. And of course, this is a very good thing that finally Foxconn is up again. Okay, Foxconn produces some iPhones, iPad, and Macs in Shenzhen. However, almost 50% of iPhone are produced at a factory in Henan province, according to a Bank of America research note on Monday. Apple can start to ramp up production in Henan province to recoup some of those losses. So, of course, I do understand that, Shenzhen's Foxconn is not that big. But you do have to understand that these are the small news that can actually start to contribute to some form of a supply chain crash. And that's kind of what we're being afraid of as well. Because let's be honest, with commodity price going up, wages are also going up, inflation is going up. This whole thing is going to spiral into something out of control. And yeah, this can easily happen. Supply chain can completely collapse. Okay, it's a definite possibility that I also talked about it in the video. Just go and watch the video. Okay, like come on. Okay, 10-year Treasury yield topped 2.616% ahead of Fed's decision. Of course, the thing is that people are a lot more. People are getting into stocks. Okay, and when people get into stocks, the Treasury yield is going to go up. And when Treasury yield goes down, technically that means the stocks market is going to get a hit. Okay, so when we finally see Treasury yield hit 2.16%, which we haven't seen in quite some time, I would think that it's been quite some time since we saw it. And yeah, it's a good thing. Let's see. Watchers also anticipate that the Fed will offer a new quarterly forecast that could indicate 5 or 6 more hikes this year, which I also talked about in the video. The central bank is set to announce its decision and economic projections after its 2 days meeting wraps up at 2 p.m. on Wednesday, with Fed Chairman Jerome Powell then due to give a briefing. That's basically what I've already said before. Blah 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 blah. Let's see. Yeah, okay. That's about it. Actually, they are just talking about how Treasury yield tops 2.16%. Haven't been seen in quite some time, so I'm very, very happy to see that. It simply means that people are actually moving money away from the Treasury yield over into stocks because people are more bullish right now. But do understand that, I want to be bullish as well, okay? And hopefully I can continue being bullish if even if Jerome Powell says that we are going to go through 5 or 6 rate hikes in this year. Hopefully we can still be equally as bullish. I'm not sure. But yeah, let's hope for the best here. Okay. Now, do we have another one? Okay, this is the last one, actually. Oil drops again, now more than 27% below recent high. Okay, do understand that when a stock or a commodity or any numbers in general, when they have a drop is a lot worse than a increase, than a rise. Okay, simply put, let's just say if I were to buy into a stock at say $1, okay, at $1, and let's just say it went all the way to $100. Okay, that's 100 times, aka 10,000% increment. Okay, now this stock is at $100, and if this stocks drop down all the way to say by 40%, it will drop all the way to $60. Okay, but if you have $60 right now, just because you have an increase of 40%, okay, back again 40%, 60 times 40% is gonna give you 84. 84 is still about 16% down from all-time high, which is why it's crazy for people to think that oh, the price is going up, and when a drop actually happened, and then when the rise comes back again, and people think that it's great. Okay, it's kind of weird for people to actually imagine that. So over here, you can see oil drops again, now more than 27% below recent high. Okay, 27% below recent high. So imagine this, okay? Let's just say tomorrow or the day after or next week or whatever it is, we suddenly see oil prices go up by 20%. People are going to panic. But I don't care, because 20% increment is still not going to be where we were at the recent high. If in fact, it's not going to be even near, okay? Which is why I'm not that worried to say. Okay, even if it were to increase by 10%, even up to 30%, it's still not going to hit the recent high. Okay, of course, I'm still going to be worried simply because there must be a reason why oil prices are going up. Okay, but if you're telling me that I should be worried because oil prices suddenly just went up by 20%, because it went down by 27%, I don't think I'm going to be worried about that. But what I would be worried about is the catalyst that actually brought this about. Okay. And of course, for oil prices to be going down, I'm a big fan of, and I try my best to be transparent with you guys as well, because I also have my portfolio currently in shorts, okay, in terms for the Occidental Petroleum. I do have shorts on Oxy, but of course, like I said over and over again, I do want to explain this to you guys. Oxy is not the ETF for oil. So when oil prices go down, it doesn't mean that Oxy have to go down. Okay, Oxy is a good company, and Oxy is already talking about how they are trying to transit away from just being purely just doing oil. They do have other business venture and such. So because of that, you're actually getting into a company, not getting into oil. So of course, I do think that Occidental Petroleum, they did get a lot of hype, especially with Warren Buffett getting a 9.8% stakeholder into the company itself. So of course, there was a lot of hype, and because of those hype, I'm actually buying puts, aka shorting the stock. And of course, I put a time value on it all the way to on the 8th. That is August. Around August, if this is gonna expire around August, of course, this is all in the money as well. So right now, I'm already earning a little bit, but yeah, I'm definitely a big fan of this. I'm glad I actually got into this. When I saw that oil prices kept on going up, I just didn't think that it would stay up all the way. So I'm glad I made that decision. Okay, but anyway, that's all I have for this video. Oh, hold on, actually, let's talk a little bit about the crypto market, before we actually end this off. But it's going to be a quick one anyway. Just an update for all the crypto lovers out there. Bitcoin is at 40.6K, Ethereum at 2.7, Polkadot at 18.3, Ripple at 77 cents, Dogecoin at 11.4, Cardano 88 at 81 cents, Shiba Inu at 0.000000022, and then we got Terra Luna at $90, and then Decentraland at $2.34. Okay, honestly speaking, for the whole cryptocurrency at the moment, I'm just very, very confused with the market, because there are just an up and down day where there are basically no catalyst behind it, which is why I did sell a little bit of my Terra Luna, which I think I did tell you guys about it. I think last Friday I did tell you guys that I sold my Terra Luna. So after selling Terra Luna, kind of funny thing was that I bought back into Terra Luna pegged to the dollar, which is USDT, I think. Oh no, it's UST. Okay, I bought into UST, and UST I just bought into it, and then I'm just doing a 8% APY on it. Instead of me holding on to Terra Luna, where I was getting, I think, 2% APY. That's my kind of play. I just thought that, it's not a huge sum of money either. I think it's about 3,000, 4,000-ish. So, of course, I'm just going to put it in there, 8%. I don't care. I'm just going to close my eyes. I'm going to get my 8%, okay? So that's kind of plays that I'm doing. Of course, I'm not going to be talking about a lot of my trades, because I'll be explaining my trades tomorrow. Most of my trades I'm going to be talking about it tomorrow. But yeah, I think that's all we have for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I can finally go and rest a little bit, because I do think I want to get a little bit of a nap before the whole Jerome Powell situation, because I don't think I have enough sleep these days. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.